The following may contain language and subject matter which is not appropriate for all audiences. Good morning, evening, day to you all listening to us, our intrepid little Lofak podcast. We appreciate you. And, no, we appreciate you. I'm not going to tell you guys to tell other people to listen, because if they're not listening, they're assholes anyway. And,
So you think telling people to listen doesn't help?
I don't know if it helps or not, but you know what? I'm glad that the people listening are listening, and I hope you guys listen more. More intently, more enthusiastically, more emotionally. It's just us again, Matt and Dave. And today's topic is something that kind of piqued my interest because I saw someone do it the other day. It was a politician. And the politician said, "I want to put politics aside." And that kind of made me do a Scooby-Doo double take.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Like, how can you, a politician, say you want to put politics aside?
That's impossible.
And that's like with anything. That's like, but that's like with anything. Like when a liar says, let's be truthful here. And so they're going, but you're a liar. Why would I think anything that comes out of your mouth would be the truth?
Is that like I'm very spiritual? No, that's different.
That would be if you know that person is not. But on the politics vein, I mean,
I'm just kind of curious. What was the? Do you know the context? Because I'm really curious.
it probably had something to do with what's going on in American politics today. But basically, it was a politician saying, "I want to put politics aside," and the same politician, when the same thing was happening about 20 some odd years ago, was doing the same thing that they were accusing the other side of doing now.
Oh man!
So I'm just sitting there going, I'm old enough to know, right? Because I actually saw this person do that, and I was like, huh? 20 some odd years ago, you were pounding the table about how unfair and political and just wrong and nasty this is.
Putting politics aside.
And now you're like, I want to put politics aside. I'm just sitting there going, bullshit.
I didn't think you can't ever put politics aside if you're a politician.
Again, right? I mean, how could you? Your whole purpose is wheeling and dealing and politicking and.
Let's be honest here.
Or even that. I mean, that's like. That's always.
Let's be frank.
That's always funny because what was it like? When they're on the winning side of stuff, they're all like, politics is kind of dirty. It's not clean. Yeah, blah blah blah. And if you're on the losing side of something as a politician, like, oh well, this is totally wrong. It's blah 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 blah. Unconstitutional. Blah, 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 blah.
Man, I think everybody's so sick of it.
Well, if everybody's so sick of it, shouldn't we try and change it? And if we could we? I don't think we could.
How do you change it?
I don't think we can.
I mean, what do? Vote somebody else in?
Well, that's a matter for another discussion, but all this is a matter for another discussion, but I don't think that it can be changed because the same type of people will come in. It's like the whole idea of like quote unquote regime change or, revolutions and stuff. All you're doing is changing the identities of the people that are in power. It's the same kind of cunt that's going to be in power. And they might start out idealistic and for the people and whatever, but you get a taste of Chinatown and it changes you.
So what's the fucking point then?
What do you mean what's the point?
Well, if it's always going to be the same kind of people, then then you got to change the system.
The system doesn't matter. The same type of people are going to come in.
You got to change this. You got to remove the system.
Then I guess that's the choice, right? You're going to go out and live in the woods by yourself?
No, you have a different system.
Like what?
I don't know.
It doesn't matter how you change the system. It's going to turn out to be the same.
I'm not an expert on democratic institutions.
Democratic institutions, monarchical institutions, dictatorships, whatever, they all end up the same. There's a small number of people at the top that are enjoying life and everything in it, and everybody else is just kind of.
We've had this discussion before because I'm always like, what's the fucking point?
But again, that's a dumb question. What's the point? That's a dumb question. That's like saying, what's the point of life? You're going to die anyway, so.
No, you just said it's always going to be the same people.
The same type of person.
Right. So there's nothing to be done.
I don't know if there's nothing to be done or not. It's always going to be the same type of people.
You just said that.
Whether they morph into it or not. Maybe I did. So what? Who cares?
Then that's what elicits me saying, what's the point?
I don't know. What is the point? Does there have to be a point?
Was.
Really? For everything or just everything not concerning you?
No, I'm just like, okay, you've pointed out the hypocrisy of politicians.
I don't know that it's hypocrisy.
Okay, just how the stuff that comes out of their mouth, it's always like, it's just to suit their own purposes.
Yeah, okay, I'll agree with that point.
Okay, so, and politics is broken, corrupt, whatever you call it.
I don't know that the politics of stuff is gonna be. I don't know that it's a broken system. It might be the way the system's supposed to be.
Okay. So you're not advocating that for systemic change?
I don't know how there can be systemic change,
Or there can't be.
without like fundamental change in people.
Well, that's...
And I don't know that that's
People aren't going to change.
anything that's wanted or even desirable. Everyone's always going to expect more from somebody else than they do from themselves.
Right.
How do you change that?
I don't know.
Can you change that? And if that changes, would life be any better?
I don't know the answer to any of these questions.
The answer is no.
What do you mean the answer is no? You don't know?
Sure I do. Don't you think if things could be better, they would already be better?
Maybe it just needs to be the different people.
The right kind of person?
Yeah.
You get the right kind of person in a position and everything would be great?
Yeah.
Isn't that a pretty stupid statement?
No. Why is that a stupid statement?
Isn't that the statement of basically all things? If we only had the right kind of people in power, then everything would be great for everybody else. So what? You can just sit around and you know, have a bunch of folks doing all the work? I mean, how... And then that breaks down all kinds of arguments, right? So if there's a right kind of person to be in power, then doesn't that automatically negate the sameness of everybody?
Yeah.
But
Some people are different.
Isn't it? Well, sure, people are different unless you want something from somebody. But hear me out. Everybody. There's a big push. Everybody's the same.
Well, I don't think everybody is the same.
So you think that if there was the right kind of person in a job, then everything would be great. If the right kind of what is it, 500, 600 people were in elected office, then that would negate the millions of people sucking on the teat of bureaucracy. Would sit there and go, you know what? It's pretty dumb of me to sit here and clock in on my 9-to-5 job and be the grand poobah and just wait for my pension. You know, I'm going to give that up.
I am the right kind of person. I do have the right kind of person mentality.
Well, I think that's part of the problem.
Because there are no right people?
That's just like thinking there's such thing as a good person and bad people.
I believe that too.
I think that's BS. Because nobody's all one thing all the time. Nobody's all good all the time, and nobody's all bad all the time, right? So how can you be a good person? What is it, like 51%? 52? 53? 60? 70? 80?
There are good people and bad people.
Sure, but they're not good or bad all the time.
That's true.
So at what point do you switch?
So you don't think there's a right person and a wrong person for a position?
No.
Yeah. I got nothing.
There are people that will do better jobs than others, I suppose.
Like, okay, so people that might have the right kind of skills for the right position, for the kind of position.
Well, aren't you moving away from the we're all equal category then?
I'm not saying it. I'm not a proponent that everybody's the same.
You're not a proponent that everybody's the same, that everybody's equal, that,
No.
So then, how do you know if there's a right person for a job and a not? Do you have to sit there and let them be in a job for 20, 30 years and be like, you know what? You're the wrong fucking person.
I don't know.
Or, you know what? You're the right fucking person. That's like saying I married the right person to the wrong person.
Yeah.
You don't know that until the end. And isn't it more about what that person's willing to do to continue and make the relationship successful?
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you're a proponent of people being of different skills and you're actually, I'm putting words in your mouth now, but do you think that people's effort counts?
Their efforts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if they're just crappy at it. Like if as long as they're trying, it's okay.
No, I mean their efforts have to be productive. Their efforts have to be
Successful.
Meaningful, successful.
No, successful. What do you mean by meaningful?
They got to give it a good, give it the good try.
Like if I decided to be a doctor and failed every test there was and was just shit at being a doctor.
Well, that's kind of what I mean. Meaningful, successful.
And if someone decides to give me a license and lets me practice medicine, and I end up making things worse and hurting people and everything, but I'm trying really hard. I'm getting to the office at 7 a.m. I'm working till 9 or 10 at night. I sleep there. All I do is think of my patients, and just every time someone gets hurt or a good result doesn't happen, it hurts me. It wounds me. I feel it. That's not good enough for you?
No, it's not good enough.
What if I was
not
like
if you're my doctor?
What if I was like the consummate, just like cunt? Pissed everybody off. Everybody hated me. I'm abrasive, irascible, but you know what? I can look at a person, diagnose them, and fix them like that. I snapped my fingers for those of you that couldn't hear it because it was pretty poor snap.
I think people probably heard the snap, but yeah, that guy's better. The shitty guy, the guy that people don't like, is better. Is there enough noises outside?
And is that how you want to be evaluated?
Is that how I want to be evaluated?
Yeah.
I refuse to answer that question.
Okay, well, folks, there you have it. We've gone long, and that's enough for the day. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks for tuning in to Low Fat Podcast. You can find us on YouTube. Just search Low Fact. You can also find us on Facebook, facebook.com/lowfactpodcast. If you want to chat to us, send us some comments, or have us talk about some things, just send an email to lowfatpodcast@gmail.com. You can also follow us on our Twitter and Instagram pages at Low Fat Podcast, and also check out Andy's pages where he mixes our beats, Twitter and Instagram at A Fantasy Beat, and you can also find his wicked ass shit on SoundCloud at Artificial Fantasy.